Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Journey Across the Galaxy. I would like to apologize in advance if I'm a little bit more low energy and a little more hesitant than usual. We'll get into why that is after the introduction, but for those of you who are just joining the series, we are on our way out to Beagle Point. We have made our way through the center of the galaxy, having started all the way back over here at the bubble, and we are trying to make our way all the way to the other side of the galaxy over here to where Beagle Point is located. Let's go ahead, get off the ground, get ourselves pointed in the next... Oops, hold on. What am I doing here? Okay, there we go. Get ourselves pointed in the right direction. Oh, it looks like we can just go ahead and jump straight into the next thing there. So for those of you who are just joining us, we're working on our exobiology skill, trying to get it up into the, elite status area, and then... Oh, press the button. So I'm talking about... We'll talk about why in a second. We're working on trying to get our elite status for our exobiology, and we are also trying to save up a lot of money so that we can eventually buy a fleet carrier and take up permanent residence out in the black with all of our ships and cool stuff, and basically just kind of stay out here and hopefully never come back. There's kind of a normal game loop that we do where we will hop into a system, do the discovery scanner, fuel scoop, check out the full spectrum system scanner to see if there are any high value planets. And then after all of that, if there are around 15 bodies in the system, we'll go ahead and do a full-on scan in each individual body to see if they have any biological signatures. So that's kind of the regular game loop. I also generally try to have some kind of topic of conversation. So if you have a topic that you would like to have covered in an episode, please be sure to leave a comment down below so that I can add it to the list of potential things to talk about. Because it's kind of hard coming up with topics all on my own, and we are all better together doing it that way. So anyways, moving on to why I might be... I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I feel really tired. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I recently moved back into my travel trailer. We're back in San Diego, and I have started volunteering for the Park Service. It's only a 20-hour-a-week commitment, which is not bad. You know, compared to a lot of different things that you could be doing. But, okay, I'm a little confused. Are those orbit rings, or... I want to make sure I don't hit the... Okay, we're not fuel scooping either. But it's not hard physical labor, but it's a lot of physical labor, and I'm running around doing a lot of physical things, and I have been very, very sedentary for the last year especially, but realistically for the past few years, I've been doing mostly office work, and I don't really do a lot of physical activity outside, or don't really do a lot of physical activity at all. So I've been running around the last couple of days outside and doing a lot of like cleaning up sites and things like that. Just a lot of physical activity that I'm just not used to, and I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it pretty hard today. I'm not used to being out in the sun. I'm not used to doing a lot of doing a lot of physical effort, even though objectively it's not difficult. It's walking around. We have these little pickers to pick up trash, so we don't even have to bend down to do that. We do a little bit of light raking to make the sites look nice, and then we have blowers that will blow the driveways clean. It's very, very quick, light. Prep the site for the next guest that's moving into the RV site. I'm going to stress very clearly. I'm not whining about that it's difficult. It's not. It's not hard at all. It's extremely easy. But I'm just putting it into context that when you have been living a very sedentary lifestyle for a very long time, even that little bit of stuff can just kind of tire you out until you get used to actually, doing something with your body again. So, I have to say, it's kind of weird for me, having served as a Marine for 11 years, and that was about 10 years ago now, how 10 years of not really doing anything can really just take a lot of the conditioning that you used to have out of you. I don't have nearly the endurance that I did. Well, and obviously I'm a little older now, quite a bit older now. I think I was like 30 when I got out of the Marine Corps, and I'm now 41. So age and lack of physical activity and a lot of different things. Not eating well, not being healthy. A lot of different things can conspire to make it to where even the really objectively light physical activity that I've been doing is just really tiring for me. Yesterday I didn't feel that bad at all. I think today I'm having a combination of my body didn't really feel it yesterday, and so now I'm tired from today's work plus yesterday finally hit me. So I think I'm kind of getting like a double whammy. You know, I know those of you who are active and do a lot of physical activity and things like that are like, oh, cry me a river. Trust me, I understand how ridiculous it is to, go do 5 hours of work and then you come back and, there's people out there that are doing 8, 10, 12 hours of that kind of stuff. And trust me, I'm not trying to compare myself to you in the slightest. I am completely self-aware to know that my tiredness is unreasonable for the amount of labor that I've been asked to do. But I'm trying to put it into context by saying I've been pretty lazy the last decade, and it takes a little bit to pull yourself out of that. So we're getting a lot of jumps in on this particular episode, which is, that's a good thing. While it's great to be constantly stopping and finding signatures and making lots of money, at the same time, we still have 321 jumps to go, and we've already been on this leg of the journey for over a month now, so we need to start making some distance. So it's kind of nice to go through some systems, and there's not really anything going on. And realistically, I would imagine that the further we get towards the edge of the galaxy, the more of that we're going to see, because there's just not going to be as much mass out here to form a lot of planets and biology and things like that. So I would imagine that the closer we get to Beagle Point, the less we're going to find systems like this one that have enough bodies for us to warrant having us actually scan the systems, and then B, actually having the conditions that would support some kind of life on it. But we're going to go ahead and hop into the full spectrum system scanner. As you can see, there are no Earth-like worlds, ammonia worlds, or water worlds in this, but we will go ahead and do a full-on scan because there are 15-ish or less bodies in the system. So let's go ahead and find this. Okay, so these are all, if you look down there in the bottom left of the screen, you can see that that these are all 28,000 light seconds away. I set a limit of about 10,000 light seconds, and that's even 10,000 light seconds. I'm going, Well, we can do this one. This is only 373. Are any of these? Yeah, all of those are far away. So let's just go ahead and check these out, just on the off chance that maybe some of them might have biological features. If you look in the top right of the screen, you will see features over there. It says none. We are looking for biological, and we want to find at least 2 of them before we're going to go and spend a bunch of time. Yeah, all of those are far away. So we're going to go ahead and hop out of this and move on to the next system. We want to find at least 2 biological sources on a body before we're going to invest the time of A, flying over to the planet, B, scanning the planet, and then C, going all the way down there to actually get the scans. Because if it's only a bacteria, very few of the bacteria are worth the amount of time it's going to take you to fly over there, and you won't know which bacteria it is until you go fly over there and do the planetary scan with your probes. So I generally want to see at least two biological sources on a planet, so I at least know that I'm going to get something other than just bacteria. All right, so we got 3 bodies in this system. Nothing matching any of our filters, so I'm not all that worried about that. We're going to move on to the next system. Frameshift drive charging. So, and part of my tiredness, like, I'm starting to feel a little bit better now. I didn't eat anything before I left, and my shift didn't really start until noon, and I didn't have breakfast either, so I kind of left and didn't really eat anything, and then did 5 hours out in the sun doing a bunch of physical activity on an empty stomach. And I wasn't hungry the whole time. Physical activity has a way, especially when you're like dehydrated and you're not really like I'm habitually dehydrated because I have certain physical problems that make staying hydrated problematic. Let me just put it that way. I'll let you. I'll leave it unsaid, and you can just understand what I'm saying because you know what happens when you drink lots of water, and I have a problem that exacerbates that. So there you go. I'm not gonna be vulgar and explicitly state it. Let's go ahead and check our full spectrum system scanner. So I was I didn't eat anything, so I didn't have enough calories to really keep my energy up. And I'm out in the sun. I'm not used to that. Oh, here we go. So we got 1 biological. We're looking for at least 2 before we're going to go ahead and stop. Later on in the episode, once we start getting past like the 20-minute mark, we might start looking at single biology planets because we need to find a place to set down anyways. And it's always better to set down on a planet that has biology that you can get some money out of than to just set down on a planet. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep moving on because we didn't find anything that met our criteria. So, you know, I didn't have the calories I needed to be to sustain the energy levels that were required of me. Minimal as they were, that's, you know, more than I'm used to expending. And then, you know, so I got home and got comfortable and made some food, and now I'm drinking a coffee right now. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I think now that I'm into the episode, I feel a little bit more alert and less laggy and less, you know, less of that feeling of being worn out. I wasn't really worn out. It's just, you know, it is what it is. I have several physical conditions that make physical activity somewhat difficult for me. The reason I left the Marine Corps is because I had several physical problems that made it difficult for me to do the things the Marine Corps asks you to do. First and foremost amongst them, I have a problem with my legs that makes it impossible for me to run. It also makes it very uncomfortable to be on my feet for very long periods of time. The problem is not with my feet, it's with my shins. And, you know, especially if I'm having to walk around and be on my feet a lot, it really exacerbates my condition. And let's just say that emergency room visits could be required if I'm not careful about the problem. I don't want to get too specific about it because, you know, that's not really it's not really appropriate, I don't think, for the relatively anonymous. No, I'm not trying to do emergency drop. I don't want to do it. Okay, don't do that. So, you know, I've been, especially since I got out of the Marine Corps, I've been really just trying to be careful about how much physical activity I do with the lower half of my body. And that makes physical activity in general just more difficult because, you know, I have to be careful about that. So, you know, I'm not saying that this volunteer thing that I'm doing is going to cause any problems for that. I did feel a little bit concerned towards the end because I could feel my legs starting to get a little bit, they were complaining. They were starting to complain in a way that does make me start to worry a little bit, but I'm hoping that, you know, maybe I can force my body to kind of get used to this new system or whatever it is that we're doing. Let's go ahead and check the full spectrum system scanner. There is a water world here. So let's go ahead and move around the map and see if we can find it. It's 73,000 light seconds away. We are not messing with that. Moving on to the next system. We have not, we have not had very much luck, but we're already down to 316 jumps from the 320 some odd jumps that we had when we started, so that's a good thing. So, you know, I want to make it very clear. I'm not trying to have a woe is me or try to elicit any kind of sympathy from anybody. There is no sympathy necessary here. I have been lazy for a very long time, and this is what I get for being lazy. But mostly just explaining why, you know, at least at the very start, and, you know, maybe you are able to tell if you watch my videos a while. Watch a lot of my videos. You might be able to tell that I'm feeling a little bit more tired than I normally do. Or maybe I don't. I don't know. Oh wait, hold on. We still gotta check and see if there's any high value planets. Nope. 25 bodies in this system. That's too many for us to do an individual scan on, so we're gonna move on. But realistically, though, I don't know. I'm supposed to be moving to another site here in the relatively near future. And ideally over there's going to be a lot less running around out in the sun doing a bunch of stuff because it's more of a building situation rather than, you know, running around the grounds, you know, helping people move in and move out and all that stuff. And I don't want to say helping people move in. That's misleading with the way that that's phrased. It's an RV park, so, you know, people leave, and then we have to go and make sure that the site is acceptably clean and neat and all of that stuff, so that when new guests come in, they have a place to come into that's clean and, you know, acceptable. So I don't help people move. There's no heavy lifting. I haven't had to do any kind of real physical exertion other than just walking around, picking up trash, and dragging a rake around, and you know, I haven't really had to lift anything heavy, change trash bags and things like that. Not really that much stuff. It's not bad. I'm not like, I don't want to mislead you into thinking that I'm doing a lot of physical activity, a lot of hard physical labor. I'm not. So there's that. So I don't know what else to say about it other than I am looking forward to getting to the new place, because I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit more. Well, it'll definitely be a lot less running around because it's a single building that I'm going to be maintaining, rather than oh, there's no fuel scooping here, but we do have 10 bodies, so we'll go ahead and stop and scan this one. So it's going to be a lot more maintenance related stuff rather than running around and cleaning up after people and things like that. So that's going to be pretty nice. I'm kind of looking forward to that part. And we're going to have we're not going to be in an RV park. We're going to be on the grounds where the building is. So we're going to be relatively separated from people, and we're going to kind of have our own little private space, sort of. So that's going to be pretty nice. I'm looking forward to it. Because right now we're in the middle of an RV park, and I have to listen to everybody's noise, and oh, biological 1. We might go ahead and do that one because we're at the 15-minute mark, and yeah, I think we might go ahead and do that one. And I should have targeted it, but I didn't. So we'll go and do this. See if we can find it. No features. Geological. You can see that on there at the bottom right. It shows locations and features. We're looking for the biological feature that we found. Of course, it's the furthest one out. Yeah, we better do it now, because what's going to end up happening if we don't take the opportunity while it's here, we're going to end up having to do 5 or 6 more jumps before we even find a planet to land on. And I like to find a planet to land on when I log out for a completely personal preference. For those of you who've been watching, you've heard me say it a million times. There's no reason for you to have to log out on a planet. I personally just like to do it that way because it's kind of a role play kind of deal. So anyways, I think what we'll do is we'll cut. This is going to take a minute or so to get over there, so we're going to go ahead and put a little cut in here, and I'll see you once we're getting ready to descend towards the planet. Alright, we are approaching the planet that we're going to land on. We do need to do a planetary scan because we're not just landing here. We're going to be looking for some, what's probably going to be just bacteria, but that's okay. I'd rather find some bacteria on the planet that we're going to be landing on for the day than to just find a planet to land on for the day. It's still more money in our pocket, and we need to do a landing anyways because of my OCD RP requirements. So let's go ahead and get ourselves within range of the planet so we can fire our probes off, and then we'll get down, find the bacteria, scan it, and call it an evening. It still creeps me out a little bit to see all this blackness out in front of us. I'm used to seeing a lot of stars. We're waiting for the surface scanner over there to turn it into too fast, because that means we're within range. Should be coming in pretty soon now. There we go. Let's go ahead and slow down so we can do our surface scanner. Okay, come on. There we go. And we need no more than 6 probes to get our efficiency bonus there. So back, top, left, right, down, and then front. That should get them all hitting at about the same time. Pretty close at the same time.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Okay, bacterium as expected. So we'll hop out of here. We'll start heading towards the planet's surface. Get our super cruise assist turned off. It should be off, right? Okay. Get ourselves approaching the planet. And find a spot. I mean, I guess like that. We'll go somewhere up towards the 12 o'clock position. Find a relatively flat surface area, because bacteria is always, well, 99. I have to say, I think 100% of the time we always find them in big flat areas, not inside of craters, not on mountains. Nice big flat open spaces. I don't think I've ever found bacteria anywhere else. Let's get ourselves down to the planet's surface. Try to speed this up as much as I can. I'm actually going to come down to this little spot here so we have as much room as possible to keep going. Alright. Now we're just watching the speed. Once it gets down to about 2.5 kilometers a second, that means we're about to drop into the glide. That's where it hops in. So once we start getting close, I'll drop my throttle all the way, which is how I like to do it. Go ahead and do that now. 2.5 and glide. You do enough of these and you start to learn where all the numbers are. I put my throttle at 0 so that if we end up dropping really close to the surface, I don't have to like do an emergency slow down trying to get down there. Get our night vision out. Because sometimes I'll forget that my throttle's on and then I'm hurtling towards the ground, not realizing that my throttle's still forward. Like you got to be very careful to make sure you don't do that. So it's always a good idea when you're in your glide to just go ahead and put your throttle all the way down to 0 as soon as you can do that. So that way you don't have to worry. So the problem that we have here is that we can't see anything, and we're on the night side of the planet. I made a massive mistake. I thought we were on the light side because it looked light side before we did our scans, but clearly it is not. So we may end up just landing here on like a normal planet, because I need light to be able to see the bacteria, and we're certainly not going to find it. We're certainly not going to find it with our little flashlight here. It's just not going to happen. We can try to go to this big flat area over here and maybe find something, but realistically, the flashlight style light on here is just. I agree with a user who recently told me. And by recently I mean like 5 or 10 episodes ago, told me that they wish that they had more of like a floodlight setup for the lights here, because this is ridiculous. I should be able to see everything out in front of me with intense, like super high beam lights. This is a little bit ridiculous. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna bother trying to find the bacteria, because the amount of time it's gonna take us to find it is just pretty unreasonable, given the fact that we can't see anything. So let's just see if we can find a flat spot to land on then, since that's all we're gonna do. Oops. These days, I will stop banging into things. Not bacteria, is it? No. Okay. Yeah, it's just one of the frustrating things about this little holographic landing indicator thing here is that it also helps to actually have your landing cupid down. That's my fault. Sometimes I complain, and there's no reason to be complaining. Anyways, hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button if you did, so that the YouTube algorithm will know and send the video out to as many people as possible. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so now, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you'll be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button. Check out the list of options available there and decide if any of those are right for you. If you're not interested in a continuing commitment, there is also the super thanks button, which will allow you to give a one-time contribution. There's also Patreon if you'd like to do that as well. There's a link in the description. Again, direct contributions from those of you who enjoy the channel are a critical component to helping to turn this into a full-time gig and are greatly appreciated. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys have been having lots of fun on this journey with me, and I will see you for the next one.
Warning, extremely low temperature detected.
Yep.